Good morning everyone, my name is Lumena Artanti Kuswara and I am a public relations student from Binus University. Today I want to start with a simple question. Are we really free to speak in Indonesia? At first, the answer may seem yes. We live in a democratic country, we have social media and we can share our opinions freely. Every day, people post their thoughts, comment on issues, and join public discussion. But if we look more closely, the reality is not always that simple. That is why today I want to talk about freedom of speech and why it is still a question in Indonesia. Before going deeper, I want to briefly explain persuasion in public speaking. Persuasion is not just about making people agree with us, but also about helping the audience to understand an issue in a clear and meaningful way. A good speaker builds trust, connects emotionally, and supports their ideas with logic. Through this speech, I hope not only to share information, but also to invite you to reflect on this issue more deeply. Indonesia guarantees freedom of speech in its constitution. This means that every citizen has the right to express their opinions. However, in reality, many people still feel afraid to speak openly. When someone shares their thoughts, especially about sensitive issues, they may face negative comments, public criticism, or even online harassment. In some cases, people are also worried about legal consequences. Because of this, we can see a clear contradiction. We are free in theory, but sometimes limited in practice. This issue is important for several reasons. First, freedom of speech is a key element of democracy. Without it, people cannot express ideas, give constructive criticism, or contribute to social change. A strong and healthy democracy needs active participation from its citizens, not silence. When people are afraid to speak, important voices and perspectives are lost. Second, fear is still a real challenge in society. Many individuals choose to stay quiet, not because they do not have opinions, but because they are afraid of the possible consequences. They worry about being judged, misunderstood, or attacked. Over time, this fear can reduce people's confidence and discourage them from participating in discussions. Third, in today's digital era, social media has changed the way we communicate. It gives everyone a platform to speak and share ideas. However, it also increases the risk. Information spreads very quickly, and one statement can easily be taken out of context. This can lead to misunderstanding, conflict, and even public pressure. As a result, many people become more carefully and sometimes choose not to speak at all. So, the real question is not whether freedom of speech exists, but whether people truly feel safe enough to use it. Having the right to speak is important, but feeling secure when expressing opinion is equally important. Freedom of speech should not only exist in law, but also in everyday life. We need a society that respects different opinions, even when we do not agree. We also need systems that protect individuals, not intimidate them. At the same time, we as individuals must learn to speak responsibly, think critically, and respect others. Because in the end, real freedom is not only about having a voice, but also about having the courage and safety to use it. In conclusion, freedom of speech in Indonesia still exists, but it is not fully experienced by everyone. It is still being tested and questioned in many situations. Our challenge is not only to protect the right, but also to create an environment when people feel safe, respected, and confident to express their thoughts. Thank you for your attention.